Here is just a short tour of the Connect tab on Twitter. This can be found next to the Home tab, and it's one of the most useful parts of Twitter because it's where you find out if anybody's tried to interact with you. There are 4 different kinds of interactions on Twitter. As people start following you, we can see this at the top of my interaction feed here. These are the people that have started to follow me. If I click on, you can click on any of them and it will take you to a summary of their profile so you can see who they are. Now, this is a site for secondary school teachers of English. I'm not that interested in that, so I'm not going to follow them, but I'm quite happy for them to follow me, so I will ignore that one. If I wanted to follow them, I would just click on the follow button down here. So I'll click on the small X. If we open up another one, we can see that this is somebody that I'm quite interested in following, and I'm already following him actually. I've clicked on the button here. Now, if you've been following somebody and they started to get on your nerves and for whatever reason, you can always click unfollow, and that's one of the best things about Twitter. So don't feel when you start following somebody that you're beholden to them forever. You're not. You can unfollow them whenever you like by just clicking on the button and clicking unfollow. What's quite helpful as well on Twitter now is it shows you who else that you follows that person. So sometimes you might think, oh yeah, I really respect Gemma, I'm sure she's following somebody interesting. So that's another little hint to see whether it's somebody you might want to connect with on Twitter. And click on the small X to get rid of it. So the first type of interaction is following. The second type of interaction is just what they call a mention. Now you can look just at mentions by clicking on the tab here, but I'll keep it here. Now this mention is actually a reply to a conversation, so it's a reply to a tweet that I've already sent. And to see that, I click View Conversation. And I was talking about an event I went to last night, and Jane has replied, "Sounds divine." And then I replied down here. So that's a conversation, that's a mention on Twitter. So that's the second kind of interaction on Twitter. It's a mention. The third kind of interaction is the favourite. Now my friend Alice here has favourited a tweet that I sent last night, which was finally getting around to updating my Twitter guide, which is this video is part of that. So that's called a favourite. Now a favourite works basically like a bookmark. It's a really useful thing because there's so many different tweets that you might read at any given time, and you might think, actually, I'd like to come back to that later because I haven't got time to read it properly now, especially if it's a link to something. So what you can do is you just hover over any tweet and you'll see that there's some options. You can reply, you can retweet, or you can favourite. So if you click on the favourite button, that's a way of saving that for later. And you access your favourites by clicking on Me, and then on favourites here. So that's the third kind of interaction on Twitter, is the favourite. And the fourth kind is the retweet. And if I scroll down, I think somebody's retweeted me down here. Yes, 2 different people retweeted me here. All a retweet is it works a bit like a forward for an email. It's just repeating the same message again by clicking on the retweet button, and that's what these people did, and they retweeted my post about what makes you abandon a book. So they've clicked retweet on that. So that's what a retweet is. So there's 4 kinds of interactions. There's following, there's mentioning, there's favouriting, and there's retweeting, and they can be all accessed by clicking on the connect button. And that's how people interact with you on Twitter.